What's up, everybody? Noah Kaser back here for another episode of Noah Kaser Live. Let's get right into it. We're going to be talking about Junebug, the brand new Hallmark movie starring Autumn Reeser, Batman the Caped Crusader Season 1, House of the Dragon Season 2, along with a bunch more movie news, including Deadpool Wolverine have a massive opening weekend. Twisters is already hitting VOD. We're going to be talking about some casting news, amazing stuff. We have House of the Dragon ending at Season 4, and of course we have our release rewind box office, but we're not going to be talking about just the box office results because it looks like Borderlands is going to be a box office bomb. So let's get right into it. First up, we're going to start off with my review of the brand new Hallmark movie, Junebug. Junebug is the brand new Hallmark movie starring Autumn Reeser and Aaron O'Connell. And this film is something I was very interested in because this preview looked like nothing Hallmark had ever done before. When an 8-year-old version of herself starts appearing to her, Juniper, played by Autumn Reeser, begins to realize that her life is not what she had hoped it be as a child. Young Junebug pushes Juniper to achieve her dreams to start writing again, to collaborate with the cute artist Alex, played by Aaron O'Connell, to get her life back on track. So this feels very 1990s, mid-2000s comedy style, and I really, really enjoyed this. This is one that I absolutely loved. Autumn Reeser kills it in this role. And the girl in this, the little girl, adorable little girl, love her to death. Autumn Reeser delivers a beautiful performance here that doesn't just hinder on her being cute and fluffy. This actually has some meatiness in it to her. It gives her a lot of character moments, a lot of character building. And this movie really needs that. It needs it. Because if you're going to do a family comedy about a woman meeting her inner child and her inner child coming back to her to help her through this moment in life, that's what you need here. You need it to be a little bit meatier. Give her something to sink her teeth into. And that's what they did here. The movie is not without its flaws, though. It is a bit slow at some points, and there's a few moments where it's just a little too cliched for its own good. I mean, yes, it's a Hallmark movie. You're going to get cliches, but this movie is just too cliched for its own good. It's cute, it's funny, it's fluffy, but there's moments here where we don't really need a romantic angle. We don't really need this moment here and there. The misunderstanding, the second act, the third act breakup happens and you just don't care. It doesn't build anything. It didn't give me anything to really latch onto. I enjoyed this movie. I wanted more from it. Autumn Reeser and Aaron O'Connell are great. Aaron O'Connell is not a newcomer to the Hallmark movies. And of course, neither is Autumn Reeser, but Autumn Reeser is one of those people who we've seen her in countless of them, and this might be her best role yet. This might be her best role yet. Now, I will say this. I do think that this is better than Aaron O'Connell's last film he did for the Hallmark Channel called Made for Each Other. That one was a bit of a disappointment, but just because there was so much going on with the story, Autumn Reeser's last film, enjoyed that one as well. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this type of a story in the future, because it looks like we're getting different movie plots for the Hallmark movies. And with this being like a 1990s style family film, I enjoyed that. I want more like this. But not much to say on this film, but I wanted to give you my review of Junebug. Check it out if you haven't yet. It's a delightful little film, not without its couple flaws here and there. The third act breakup, some moments that didn't feel quite fleshed out enough. The boyfriend just kind of thrown to the wayside about midway through the film. The little girl's fantastic. There's just moments here and there where it just feels a little too cliched for its own good. And you could have fine-tuned those moments in the script to maybe make it feel a little bit more, I don't know, realistic in this type of a story. I don't know. But I enjoyed Junebug, and on my grading scale, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. So I'm going to say just give this one a B+. Check it out if you haven't yet, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So we're going to go into the comments next, and we're going to see who is in here. Let's see. Hello, Sav. Welcome in. It's awesome to see you. I'm doing great. How are you today? Sav also asked me, are Hallmark movies your favorite kind of movies? Well, in a way, yes. Because Hallmark movies are light. They're fluffy. You don't need to think about them a whole lot. You sit down, you watch them. They're family friendly. That's what you want. You want a cookie cutter family type of film that barely has any stakes to it. Because who are these movies made for? They're not made for a 25-year-old guy. They're made for women in their mid-20s to upper 70s and 80s. And it's mostly the niche market of like 45 to 85, 95. That's your niche market. It's older women, middle-aged to older women. And that's what they want. They don't want to sit there and have to worry, oh, is somebody going to die in this one? Is something bad going to happen here? But I really enjoy these films. They're not my favorite type of film. They're just my, how do I say this? They are my bread and butter. If I can pop in a good rom-com, I'm happy. That's all I want from a rom-com, is to make me happy. And if you charm me, if you give me a nice story, good chemistry between the two characters, you did your job. If you don't do that, then the Hallmark movie can go downhill very, very quickly. With a movie like this, with Junebug, you need something like a 1990s style, oh look, my childhood self is coming to see me, to help me out in the situation. It kind of felt like a 1990s family comedy, and that's what you need. Each Hallmark movie has its own specific stature and its own specific beats, and this movie had a different beat because Hallmark hasn't done this a whole lot. They're going towards different stories. Like this next one, they're going into dreams, which I think is really nice, and then we go into a Costa Rican wedding with Rhiannon Fish and Christopher Russell. That's going to be a cookie cutter one, so that's exactly what you need. Are Hallmark movies more romantic comedies? Yes, they're more romantic comedies. The comedy isn't really like ha ha, laughing out loud, rolling on the floor laughing. They're more like, hey, look, they have a scene where they are having a pie baking scene, right? And the loved ones just throw flour on each other. Or maybe every once in a while, somebody will fall, but it'll turn into a romantic scene where they fall onto each other, where the woman falls onto the guy. That's exactly what these films are. They're cookie cutter. We've seen the stories 1,000 times, but we watch them nonetheless because they just take you away from the stress and the real world. That's why we watch these Hallmark movies. But next up, we're going to go into the next review, which is going to be for Batman Caped Crusader Season 1. So Batman Caped Crusader Season 1 is one that I was really looking forward to. I'm a fan of Batman. Batman is my favorite superhero, as you can see by my shirt. Love this from the Batman, the Robert Pattinson version of Batman. This series really, really works. It's well animated. It's darker than a lot of other anime Batman stuff we've gotten recently. Not taking away anything from like The Killing Joke or anything, but this kind of feels like the 1990s style of Batman show. This series works. The issue is there's a ton here that I gotta talk about. We have a villain of the week every single episode. That's fine. Binging it, I didn't want to binge this. I wanted to watch this week after week. I think if you would have put this out week after week, upload it on a Thursday night at 8 p.m. Every Thursday night at 8 p.m. on Amazon Prime, you get a brand new episode of Batman Caped Crusader. We don't get that. We got to binge all 10 episodes, and for you binge people out there who love to binge your series, that's awesome. For me, I don't like to binge all that much. I like to watch week by week like I do with House of the Dragon, with Hell's Kitchen, with Master Chef. I like to watch week after week after week because you're building a story. One, you get to see people talking about it. They get to be excited for it. This, you just drop it, and it's forgotten about within a week or two. It's completely forgot about within a week or two. But anyways, this series does have a villain of the week each episode, just about each episode. And that was very nice because we get to see multiple Batman villains. We get to see the Penguin. We get to see Catwoman. We get to see Two-Face. We get to see Harley Quinn. This is what you want in a Batman animated series. It's dark. There's a really dark episode where they're kidnapping kids and wanting to kill them. That's Batman. That's the dark side of Batman, the dark side of comic book films and comic book material, really. This is what you want. This is what I want. Every once in a while in the DC verse, you need this dark moment. Sure, a Wonder Woman can be fun and happy. You can't have a happy Batman movie. There's not very many happy moments in a Batman story. You need to get to the detective portion. You need to get to him fighting the villains to figure out why they're doing it. And eventually, we get to figure out why they're doing it, how they're going to try and stop Batman, and that's what you get here. However, they don't focus on Batman the majority of the time. The majority of the time, it's either Mr. Gordon or his daughter. Sorry, that's what you get here. It's a story where you know what you're getting. However, you're expecting Batman. And I want Batman. I don't want to sit here and watch Commissioner Gordon have a conversation. I want to sit here and watch Batman fight crime. Yes, Commissioner Gordon can be in there too. Commissioner Gordon is a great character. We do also get Alfred, but we don't get him called Alfred. We get him called Pennyworth. So this is very early in the Batman lore, very early in him being the Batman. This is set in the 1940s or 50s. I believe it's the 40s, but it could be the 40s, 50s era here. And that's exactly what we get here. We get a very early version of Batman. He knows what he's doing, but he's still learning the ropes as Batman. So kind of like the Batman, this gave me a very Matt Reeves Batman style feel. However, as a fan of Batman, I want more Batman. I want more of Bruce Wayne. And when Bruce Wayne is Bruce Wayne, we get moments of him turning into Batman. It's just his facial features. It's his mannerisms that really start to make people go, hey, something's off with this guy. Something's not quite right. This is one that I enjoyed, but you need to give more focus to Batman in a show called Batman Caped Crusader because he's your title character. He is your title character. The animation is beautiful. It's darker than I thought it was going to be. It has a couple funny moments here and there. I don't get the hate for the gender-swapped female penguin. Stop it. Stop it. I'm not sure if it's in the comics, but I'm sure if they're going from the comics, come on. Stop. Stop being a little whiny person here, wanting it your way, this way or the highway. There's no other version of Penguin besides a male version of Penguin. This is what we got. They're not in it for a whole lot. The Penguin is not in it for the majority of this season. One episode. We'll get more of the Penguin next season, I'm sure, because we need more Batman villains. This really worked for me. However, with those issues, with the pacing issues, particularly like episodes 5, 6, and 7, then we start to really pick up with the Harvey Dent story in episodes 8, 9, and 10. Those were some of the best episodes, but I really enjoyed 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4 were the strongest episodes by far to me. I thought they really engross you in this world of this version of Gotham, and I can't wait to see what we get next. Batman Caped Crusader is going to get a 4 out of 5 from me. Smaller issues, but issues nonetheless. If they could have taken out those issues and given me a bit more, I would have loved this, but it just didn't work for me wholly, but still very good series. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. We're going to go into the comments one more time before we go into the House of the Dragon review. I think I've seen one or two Hallmark Christmas movies. Okay, they're very, very specific. Some of them are amazing, but some of them are a bit of clunkers. When you release 40 of them a year, yeah, you're gonna have a small issue with some of them being awful, mediocre, but you're gonna have a lot of gems in there too. Very charming films. They don't make very many awful movies. Sav says, I grew up watching Batman the Animated Series and Batman the Brave and the Bold, etc. See, I didn't grow up with Batman. I was more of a Disney guy. I was more of a fan of, like, say, the animated musicals. I grew up with stuff like that. I didn't get into superheroes until about the Avengers. The Avengers was probably my first encounter with a Marvel or DC property, and I really enjoy them now. I love them. I pretty much watch all the movies. Pretty much all the movies. I did not watch Wonder Woman 1984, and I did not watch Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom or whatever that was called, but I really enjoy it. But that being said, we're going to get into this because I got a lot to say about House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon Season 2. So House of the Dragon Season 2 just wrapped up on Sunday, and let's talk about this. Because I heard a lot of people whining legit whining and complaining. There's not enough action in this show. Well, guess what? It's not a freaking action adventure series, people. You watch Game of Thrones? Did you watch the first season of House of the Dragon? Yes, we're leading to a war, but you need to get to that war. You need to build these characters up. You have new characters introduced. You have new people introduced, and this show is fantastic with its writing, its character building, its character choices, straying away from the books from what I understand. This is doing something different here, folks. HBO is not all action, sex, and boobs. It's not all action, sex, and boobs. This series is not like Game of Thrones. It has the Game of Thrones feel to it, but it's not like Game of Thrones. This is a family drama. It's a drama series. You're watching these two families feud, and there's a moment where Rhaenyra and Alicent in this final episode have a heartbreaking scene where I was almost about to bawl because they don't want to go to war. Rhaenyra knows that she doesn't want to go to war, but to get the throne, she knows she has to kill her son. She has to kill Alicent's son who took the throne from her because Alicent misunderstood what King Viserys said. We saw that a couple weeks ago. We got that misunderstanding, and it finally kind of just, oh, wait, I misunderstood it. There's nothing I can do about it now. I don't want to go to war, but you know what? They have to go to war. That's how this world works. That's how the kingdoms work. If you want to become this, then you have to kill this person. If you want to do this, somebody has to die. And that's what happens here. Viserys passed away. Rhaenyra was the chosen heir. King Viserys' wife, Alicent, didn't understand what he said. He was giving her in his own way. He didn't quite know what he was saying because he was about to pass away. He was losing his mind a little bit. He was decaying. You saw him losing limbs. His face was starting to just completely decay. He was losing everything about himself. So he was telling her this story, and she took it as, oh, look, he wants his son to be the heir. So she made his son the heir. Everybody accepted it, and there's nothing they can do about it. House of the Dragon does not need to have action, 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 action. You need to build these characters. You need to build these stories. You need to build this up so we care. House of the Dragon is not action. It's drama. If you don't understand that, then I don't know why you're still watching. The first season barely had any action, and everybody ate that up. Everybody ate that up. With Game of Thrones, there were battles. There were battles. The issue is, there were books based on that. There were 5 books that you had to build to this story. You had to build to this moment. Until we got to seasons, I believe, 6, 7, or 8, where Game of Thrones kind of just fell off for a lot of people. Not for me. I enjoy all the series, except for a couple episodes in season 8. But House of the Dragon is not like that. House of the Dragon is building off of a history book based on the lore that George R.R. Martin built himself. So they're straying away from that history book. They're going into this. They're giving everything to it. And these actors deserve Emmy nominations. They deserve legit Emmy nominations for this. If we don't get an Olivia Cook, I can't remember the name of Rhaenyra. I should remember her name, but that actress deserves a Emmy nomination. Matt Smith deserves a Emmy nomination. This is fantastic work. Everybody in here is doing fantastic work. The writers, the visual effects, the screenplay writers, everybody is delivering on all cylinders. People who complain about this, I don't understand. There's not enough action. Boring, 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 boring. Well, stop. Stop complaining. Stop complaining and watch the show. If you get... I have not seen Succession, but if you watch Succession, I've heard it's more of a family drama. Okay? I've heard it's more of a family drama. That's what they do here. HBO is more about telling stories, quality stories, not just, hey, look, let's give them a sex scene with the dude's wiener out and boobies. Oh, look, we're going to cut somebody's head off for no apparent reason. That's what you want, apparently. Instead, you don't want character building. You don't want this slow rise. You don't want this rise to power. I get why some people were a little bit disappointed in the final episode of this season, in the season finale, but you need to build it to it. You need to build. And we didn't do enough building to get to that war. The first episode of season 3, I guarantee you, we're going to get this first part of the war. We're going to get to the first part of the war, and I'm going to enjoy it. It's not going into production until next year, which pisses me off a little bit, but it's fine. I will wait. I waited for this. I have plenty of other shows that I can enjoy, not as much as this, but you know what? It's fine. I loved this series. I loved it. There were a couple moments that were a bit slow. Some of the episodes were a bit longer with scenes that went on a little too long. I enjoyed the scenes where Damon was losing his mind, because that's in the lore. It is in the lore. We're seeing that happen. Some people don't understand. It's based off of a book. It's based off of a book. If you don't know that, you're watching the wrong series. I loved this. I really, really did, and I cannot give this enough praise. This deserves Emmy nominations out the wazoo. It's going to get some Golden Globe nominations. I'm sure it's going to get snubbed because why can I not remember him? Oh, wow. The actor who played King Viserys was completely snubbed. He should have not only been nominated, but he should have been in the running to win it. He really should have been in the running to win it. But I loved House of the Dragon Season 2. Can't wait for Season 3. I'm going to try and find a couple new series to watch so I can give you guys some more reviews of series. I know I'm going to finish Ted Lasso, then I'm going to go into The Bear, or maybe I'll just jump straight from Ted Lasso into The Bear into Only Murders in the Building. But I'm looking forward to it, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And did you see House of the Dragon Season 2? Do you see where I'm coming from? Do you want more of a character building show? Because that's what this is. It's a drama series. It's a family drama about these two families, about this world. And there's a nice cameo in there towards the very end, and I enjoyed that. But I'm going to give House of the Dragon Season 2 a 4 out of 5, and actually a 4.5 out of 5. I love this. Just a couple small issues with the pacing and a couple scenes going a bit too long, but more of my issues are with the fan base that don't understand the series and the way it's going, even though they watched Season 1 and they know how the show is. I don't know. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and let me know your thoughts. So, we're going to go into the comments here. And we're going to go in here and see what Sav says. But first we have Tim Shady Meat Boy. Hello, Tim. Welcome in. It's nice to see you. What is up? It's great to see you. Sav says, Superman 78 and Batman 89 were the first live-action DC movies I ever saw. If people don't like a show and just complain about it, they shouldn't watch it. Exactly. They need to stop complaining, because if they don't like the show, if they think it's boring, don't watch it. You're just going to piss yourself off more. And you're not only going to piss yourself off more, you're pissing off the fan base who actually knows what the series is and are loving it, because Game of Thrones was not all action. There were multiple episodes where there was no action at all, and it was all dialogue driven. Sorry, that's what it was. I've not seen Season 2 yet. I said check it out. The Blu-ray and DVD should be out this fall over there in the UK. I know it's up for pre-order right now on Amazon here in the States. And I'll probably wait for my Walmart to get the Blu-ray before I buy it, or I may just put that on a Christmas list for a family member or something like that, because I love the show, and I do have Season 1, and I can't wait. But we got a lot more to talk about, so let's get right into it. Deadpool Wolverine, massive second opening weekend. So this is where we get into the box office, because the box office numbers are insane. This movie is breaking records. It is breaking records. Not to mention that it is right now, it is considered one of the biggest movies of the year. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't be. Here's the thing, though. If you want to look at what the box office results were, just very, very quickly, I'll show you here via the numbers. And the numbers look something like this. Deadpool Wolverine earned another $96.8 million on its second weekend at the box office. taking a 54% drop. 54% drop. It's already at $851.8 million. Next weekend, this will join the $1 billion club by next weekend. When we see the box office numbers next week, because we're going to talk about a box office bomb with Borderlands in just a little bit. But Deadpool Wolverine is one of those that is earning money. It's just about half, folks. International box office, domestic box office. It's going to earn $1 billion. Will it reach Inside Out 2? I don't know. But does it need to? No. This movie is already profitable. It was profitable within its pretty much its first 5 days. This is just pocket change for them now. You can make another one if you want to. Ryan Reynolds did say he didn't want to. But this is a massive second opening weekend for Deadpool and Wolverine. $851.8 million. Let's take a look at this. So right now, it's the #1 R-rated movie. As a domestic total, it is... Where are you? Domestic total, it is at 44, and I guarantee you it'll probably go... I want to say it's going to get to about 530 million, maybe 550. I don't see it reaching the Incredibles 2 here, but that's just with that. If we're going to talk about it as a all-time worldwide, I see it right now. I see it getting to... I'm going to guesstimate the Fast and the Furious or the Incredibles 2 in worldwide numbers. I don't see it going to Frozen, but I could be wrong. We have multiple more weeks before another big film comes out. And I mean a massive blockbuster comes out that's going to make $90 to $100 million opening weekend. I hate to say it, this is not going to be a massive next couple of months where everything is going to make $500 million at the box office, and they don't need to. Just because you don't earn $800 million or $1 billion at the box office does not mean that you are a flop. This is massive numbers here. These were the actuals. And yes, we will talk about the box office in just a minute, but Twisters earned another $22.8 million, Trap with $15.4 million. Not bad, but the number of the week is Deadpool and Wolverine. But there's my thoughts on that. I really like seeing the box office for this grow because Deadpool Wolverine is one of the best movies of the entire year, one of my favorites, and I can't wait. But let me know, what do you think about the Deadpool and Wolverine box office? Are you excited for it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So we're going to go into the comments. Sav says, I can see Deadpool Wolverine making well over $1 billion worldwide. Yes, it will. It'll be reaching $1 billion this weekend. Guarantee you, by the time we see the Sunday estimates for the box office, it will be over $1 billion. So next up, we will be talking about something that is going to hurt the box office a little bit, and that is Twisters is already hitting VOD. It's already hitting VOD. Why? Well, because some studios don't understand. Some studios just don't understand. It's still making money. As you saw, it made another $22 million, $22.5 million. But according to World of Real, Twisters is already headed to VOD on August 13th. So it's not that it's a flop. It's not that it's a flop because it's not. It's not a flop. Its budget of $155 million was too high and it peaked too early. Here's the issue. It's only raked in $245 million. I'm not going to call that a flop. I'm not going to call that a flop. I think what it did, this had a big-ass barricade. This had a big-ass barricade in front of it called Deadpool Wolverine. That's what happened to this. If this movie would have opened, say, a couple weeks beforehand, I think it would have earned it. It needs, according to this, it needs $390 million to break even. People are still going to see it. They're still going to see it. I don't see it dropping a whole lot more this weekend. I think it earns maybe another $18 million this weekend, but I think it's a really big mistake to put this on VOD. Because if you want to earn a profit, you look at the box office results now. My issue is you're not going to make a lot of box office, but you can earn a little bit off of this. $20, $25 a pop. It's going to be on rental for $19.99. And you can also buy the movie on digital for probably $24.99. I guarantee you. That's what's going to happen next Tuesday. And I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I was going to go and see it again in theaters. I didn't go and see it again in theaters. I will buy the Blu-ray and I'll watch it multiple more times. My family wants to watch it. So I can't wait. But I think it's a big mistake because you're hurting your box office in its first month, really. This movie hasn't even been out in theaters a full month yet, and you're already putting it out on VOD because you think you lost money. Well, Twister should have been moved up. Not a bad movie. One of my favorites of the entire year. One of the most fun experiences I've had in a theater in a very long time. I love this movie. I really love this movie. But I don't understand it, folks. Don't put your movie out on VOD until at least 6 weeks. 6 weeks. But instead, Twisters is already out. But there's that. Small little rant over. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on what you think about Twisters already hitting VOD. And we can have a conversation. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So, next up. This is some interesting news here. Because I saw this news earlier yesterday. And this is very intriguing. Because this is not only massive news for A24, it's also news for people who like good movies and massive stars. And that's going to be Zendaya and Robert Pattinson in a new A24 movie? Let's take a look at this. This is coming to us. Okay? This is coming to us from, I believe it's Variety. Variety is writing Zendaya and Robert Pattinson in early negotiations to star in A24's The Drama, which is going to be helmed and written by Dream Scenario director Christopher Brogley. Christopher Brogley. Project details are still being kept under wraps, but rumors suggest it's a romance that takes an unexpected turn before the couple's big day. This marks another collaboration between Square Pig and A24, including Hereditary, Midsommar, Dream Scenario, and the upcoming films Death of a Unicorn starring Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega, Eddington starring Joaquin Phoenix, Pedro Pascal, and Emma Stone. Deadline was first to report the news. So I think this is a very interesting thing here. It's a romance movie starring Robert Pattinson and Zendaya. I'm very excited for this because Zendaya is one of the best actresses working today. Robert Pattinson, if you haven't seen him in anything besides his Twilight stuff or the Batman, check him out in something like The Lighthouse. That shows you how good of an actor he is. Zendaya and Robert Pattinson in a romance film. Sign me up. It's A24. They're no slouch. They don't put out crap. They don't put out crappy movies. Every once in a while, every studio does stumble, and they have a bit of a flop on their hands. But this, I don't think, is going to be the case. I think this has the potential to be a fantastic film. I think that this has a potential for some Oscar or awards love if the movie is written and directed that way with these two performing in it. We should have already gotten some nominations for these actors. I think that Robert Pattinson should have been nominated for The Lighthouse. I think that Zendaya should have been nominated for Malcolm and Marie. But that's just me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and let me know your thoughts. Are you excited? Are you excited for the new movie, The Drama, written and directed by the guy who directed... Did he write and direct it? Well, from the guy who made Dream Scenario. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So next up, we're going to go into another bit of casting that I think is very interesting. Very interesting casting news here. And that's because this is big. This is big. So this is going to be coming from the Hollywood Reporter. And the Hollywood Reporter is reporting this. Jenna Ortega joining Glen Powell in a new J.J. Abrams movie. This is massive news. As I said, this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter, who states that Jenna Ortega is in talks to star alongside Glen Powell in a new J.J. Abrams movie. It'll be written by Abrams and will be produced by his Bad Robot, which has an overall deal with the studio. Both Ortega and Powell were recently flagged as being a part of the new A-list by the Hollywood Reporter after surveying studio executives and producers about the most in-demand stars. Both stars are seen by the industry as box office draws, able to bring in younger moviegoers into theaters, which is massive because they are. They are. J.J. Abrams, Jenna Ortega, Glen Powell. If you want to look at what Glen Powell has done, Glen Powell's had a hell of a year, man. Look at him from like 2021 to 2024 now. Okay? Well, sorry, 2022. 2022. Top Gun Maverick made him a star. Made him a movie star. Then you had to build him a bigger star in a rom-com with Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney helped, but it's a rom-com. Those usually don't do very well at the box office, but it's a modest little hit with Anyone But You. That works. Twisters is making a crap ton of money at the box office. Way more than I thought it would. Way more than I thought it would. Didn't need to have that big of a budget, but I think that's very charming. I think it's good. Glen Powell's a big star. I wouldn't say that Jenna Ortega is a massive star yet, okay? I'm going to backtrack on my statement. Jenna Ortega is a big star, but I'm not going to say she's a box office draw. If you're a box office draw, you drum up the box office. You drum up the box office and you bring people in. That didn't happen for Scream. That didn't happen for Scream. None of the Scream movies have made more than $200 million at the box office. You think I'm wrong? Sure. Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera were massive. Massive draws. Massive draws. The issue is this is not exactly what you want to see in a franchise that has massive fans, because a lot of people don't go into them going, "Oh, hey, look at this. Jenna Ortega's in it. We got to see it now." You're not going into it for Jenna Ortega. You're going to see Ghostface. You're going to see Ghostface. Now, with Wednesday. Wednesday is what made her a star, not Scream. Not Scream. Wednesday is what made her a star. This is the Scream box office. She's a massive star. Sure, they earn back a bit of money. The issue is with those budgets, you got to keep them small. You got to keep them small, or else you're not going to earn back a whole ton of money. $40 million budget for Scream 4. That's why it took them 11 years to make a fifth one. And it earned another $43-ish million, about another $43 million. That's a modest little hit right there for a $35 million film. My thing is, if you put those two together in theaters, oh, you got money. You got money. Issue is, what's the story? What's the story going to be with this? I love Jenna Ortega. I do. And I love Glen Powell. He's one of my favorite stars. J.J. Abrams hasn't had the best of years in recent years, but you know what? I could be wrong. Jenna Ortega is a massive star. I'm not going to say she's a box office draw, but Glen Powell isn't even a box office draw either. They are the hottest stars in Hollywood who are just becoming hot. They are just becoming hot, and their star is just going to keep growing. It's just going to keep growing, and that's what you need. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and let me know your thoughts. Are you excited for this new Glen Powell and Jenna Ortega movie, which is going to be written and potentially directed by J.J. Abrams? I'm looking forward to it. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. we're going to go into the comments. Deadpool Wolverine is one of my favorite movies of 2024. It is right now currently my third favorite movie of 2024. Okay. So what the VOD is, it's video on demand. Video on demand is what that is. So I know you said you had something in the UK where you could do that as well. So I highly recommend, if you haven't seen Twisters in theaters yet, check it out at home. But if you have a chance to see it in theaters, that's the way to see it. That's 100% the way to see it. Hey. Welcome in, Crazy Joe. Bringing in some what's happening. Some what's happening quotes. Anyways. It is Sav and Joe saying hello to each other. Is JJ finally making another original non-IP movie? I love Super 8, but he hasn't made anything original since. No, he has not. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does, but with Glen Powell and Sydney Sweeney, that's your draw. I don't think that Abrams is a massive draw at the box office anymore. Basically because he hasn't made a whole lot of original stuff since. But I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think it's going to be original. I'm hoping it's original and it's not based off of an IP. If it's based off of a book, sure. Before we go into the next topic, we have Sav saying, yes, we do have something like that in the UK. Okay, so check that out. Check out everything on it. And I want to know your thoughts on Twisters if you've seen it. Or if you haven't seen it, when you eventually see it. So we're going to go into the next topic, which is going to be sad news for me, and that is House of the Dragon to end with Season 4. My favorite show on TV right now is House of the Dragon. We just had the Season 2 finale. I already gave you my review of Season 2 and what I think about the fan base. So this is heartbreaking news for me because I love this show. However, you only have so much time to build this. This is only like 100 years before we get to Khaleesi. 100 years before we get to Khaleesi, and I believe we're going to jump right into the Khaleesi storyline. And this one is coming from Slash Film. And Slash Film says that House of the Dragon Season 4 will end the series. Season 3 shoots early next year. So we're not going to get this until probably summer or early fall of 2024. Remember the good old days of TV? Okay, I thought I was going to keep moving. Remember the good old days of TV when you had enough episodes to really get to know a cast of characters? The shows get weird and experimental, and you didn't have to wait 2 years for the next episode? Me neither. House of the Dragon does have a structural problem, although the show managed to win over many fans after a disastrous final season of Game of Thrones. I'm not going to call it disastrous, with a delightful first season. Its second season was disjointed and repetitive and rather inconclusive. I disagree. Despite a strong start, the show's 8-episode count ended up hurting it as many character arcs stalled for most of the season. I disagree with you here, but that's okay. And conversations started becoming redundant. It then concluded with a season finale, which that felt very much like a penultimate episode. Cutting what was clearly being set up as the climax of the season and leaving the arc of this season with a culmination or conclusion. Just table setting. Yes, that's the thing. According to Variety, HBO has confirmed that House of the Dragon Season 3 will start shooting early next year, with the show ending after its 4th season as the Dance of Dragons draws to a close. So when will it end? I'm going to guesstimate 2028 at this point. We had heard about the 4-season plan before. As notoriously good planner, George R.R. Martin himself proposed it would take 4 10-episode seasons to cover the Dance of the Dragons, as covered in his book Fire and Blood. To have the season order confirmed at least lays to rest any theories that the show would either rush its ending the way Game of Thrones did, or extend it forever and attempt to milk what's ever... Let's try it one more time. Or extend it forever in an attempt to milk what's proven to be a very successful prequel. So we don't know how many episodes are going to be in Season 3. It does say, when asked if Season 3 will also have 8 episodes, the showrunner Ryan Condal says, I haven't had discussions with HBO about it. Here's your issue. You should know. It does say, I would just anticipate the cadence of the show from a dramatic storytelling perspective will continue the same from season 2 on. That definitely sounds like another 8-episode season, which would truly be a shame, as House of the Dragon already kind of sped through decades of in-world history in its first season, whereas season 2 slowed down a bunch. Judging by how dense the story gets from here on out in the original book, shortening the seasons wouldn't be the greatest idea. I disagree with what they've said about the season, but then again, it's all subjective. If the writer for Slash Film thinks that it's a mixed season, a messy season, I completely disagree. I think it's a well-made season. It's all about character building. This was a building season, and that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. But I really think that this is good for them because, one, you please the fans. You don't extend it out any more than you need to, and you just have more. You just have more time to build these characters, get to the big moment of the end of the book, whatever that is. I'm hoping we get to meet Khaleesi, more of Khaleesi's family, and we end with Khaleesi. That's what I want. I hope we end with what we get at right before we get to the first moment we meet Daenerys Targaryen in the first episode of Game of Thrones. We've already seen what happens at the very end of the first season. We've already had that clip in the season finale of this season, but I look forward to seeing it. What do you think about it? Are you excited? Are you disheartened to like me? Are you a little mad that it's going to be a shorter show, but in a way that's probably good. I just hope it ends up getting a lot of Emmy nominations, Golden Globe love, maybe a Best Drama Series nod. I'd like that, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below and let me know your thoughts. We're going to go into the comments one more time, and then we're going to blow through the rest of this. Twisters doesn't interest me, but it's too soon per VOD. They need to stop putting these things out on VOD so soon. They do. You need to put them out 6 weeks. You're going to drop this by at least 50%. What the studio is doing is they're dropping this by 50%. Next week, another 50% drop, when it could have been another 30-40% drop without the VOD. Sav says, sorry, when I see Twisters, I let you know what I think. Awesome. Sav then says, I thought the original Twister I thought was just an okay movie. I thought it was just okay as well. So we're going to go into the final topic before we go into our regular segments every single week. So what is our final topic? Well, we're going to talk about this because we have 2 movies coming out this weekend in theaters, and we're going to talk about why one of them is going to bomb. And the one that's going to bomb is Borderlands. Borderlands is going to be a box office bomb. That shouldn't be surprising to anybody because they've been hiding the marketing. The movie comes out this week. I haven't seen very many ads for it, folks. I haven't seen very many ads for it. And with the budget that this thing has, this thing needs a crap ton of money to break even. And it's just not going to do it. This is also coming from Slash Film. Borderlands needs a miracle to avoid disaster at the box office. Borderlands is currently eyeing an opening weekend domestically in the $13 to $18 million range per box office theory. The big question right now is the film's budget, which has yet to be reported, is estimated at $100 million range. That would make sense based on the trailers, which promised Mad Max by way of Guardians of the Galaxy. That sort of blockbuster doesn't come cheap. Not to mention the stacked A-list cast, which includes Kate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and Jamie Lee Curtis. And let's not forget Ariana Greenblatt, who's becoming a big star. She was just in Barbie. Let's not forget that. Although, all of this to say, even on the high end, that opening weekend is more than a little rough. It does also happen that Sony's It Ends With Us is opening the same weekend and looks to pull in a larger audience with a debut closer to $20 million. That plus the monster success that is Deadpool Wolverine will be still hanging around, as will M. Night Shyamalan's Trap. Stiff competition certainly doesn't help matters here. Wherever the case, Lionsgate is going to need a miracle to save this from being a financial disaster, it seems. But can it be a Warcraft? Warcraft did not open well. Warcraft didn't open well, but it did earn $438.8 million. Here's your issue. Borderlands has not had marketing. They've been hiding the trailers. We had 5 months between trailers. 5 months. That's called hiding marketing, and there's no reviews out yet. The last I checked, there was not one review out for it yet. I don't know when the review embargo lifts, but what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take a look at the RottenTomatoes.com to see if there's any reviews out yet for it. I don't believe there is. I know that the reviews for Cuckoo came out, and It Ends With Us does not have any reviews yet. I'm hoping that they maybe drop at 3. Maybe they drop tomorrow morning, afternoon at about noon, but they're hiding reviews. Borderlands is going to bomb. This is not going to earn $100 million at the box office, I don't think. Because when you don't market your movie, you tell your audience, we don't believe in this movie. When you don't let critics give your opinion, or when your screenings are late, and you have almost no confidence in this film, you hide your reviews. That's what Lionsgate is doing, folks. They know it's probably a messy movie. The trailers didn't intrigue me all that much. I love this cast. I thought it looked fun. But if the story is garbage, fun does not make money. Fun doesn't give you a good bit of chunk of change. Sorry, fun is fun. A good movie makes money. Maybe it gets a following. Maybe it makes $20 million on its second weekend. But I highly doubt it. I think it could end up making 13, 18, maybe $20 million opening weekend. But if It Ends With Us with a bigger crowd with that than a blockbuster video game series with millions of fans that don't even know it's coming out and don't care. Sorry, if this was Universal, they probably would have put this on Peacock, just like they did with Five Nights at Freddy's. Sorry. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you excited for Borderlands? Are you going to go and see it? I'm not. My theater is not getting Borderlands. My theater is getting It Ends With Us because the audience chose It Ends With Us over Borderlands. That should say something, folks. But are you excited for Borderlands? Do you think it's going to flop? And are you excited for the movie in general? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below and let me know your thoughts. So, we're going to go into the comments one more time because we do have another comment here. I like your movie posters in the background. Thank you. This one right here with the handout is actually a West Side Story poster with Rachel Zegler and Ansel Elgort. That's Cruella. This is... Where are you? This is, I believe this is Jumanji: The Next Level. This is Hobbs and Shaw, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Greatest Showman. I love my setup. I have more posters here. Like I got a La La Land one here. I got Blockers there, The Wizard of Oz and Paddington, a Harley Quinn, Aladdin. Now I got lots more posters that are not even hung up yet. But I love it. Sav says that he's not going to see it. I hope you go and see It Ends With Us. If you have the money, I like to try to go to theaters every single week, but I'm not sure how much a movie ticket costs over there in the UK, where my theater only cost me $4 or $5, $6 tops for my ticket to go and see a movie, so that's not bad at all. We're going to go into the next topic, which is our regular topics, the release rewind, box office results, Netflix top 10, and what's releasing in theaters and on streaming this week. So we're going to start off with our regular topic, release rewind. So what came out 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago? Let's get into that right now. So 10 years ago in 2014, I love doing this every week, we had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles open. That had a great opening. It made a lot of money. A lot of fans, blew people's expectations out of the water. And then that same weekend, we had we had 4 more movies open. And those movies were Into the Storm, along with the romance film What If, which I think is a fantastic film. If you haven't seen the rom-com What If with Daniel Radcliffe, check it out. It's freaking fantastic. Love that movie. I need to rewatch that soon. Step Up All In was another one, along with the little indie film The 100-Foot Journey. We move on to 2004, and in 2004, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, folks, was Collateral. Collateral opened 20 years ago, along with the same weekend as Little Black Book. And let's not forget the shark film, Open Water. Now I have not seen Collateral or Open Water, but I have seen the Little Black Book, and I like the Little Black Book. It's a very solid little rom-com. I will be watching Open Water this week. It's only 79 minutes. And if Collateral is streaming anywhere, I might try to squeeze that one in there as well, or maybe at some point this month. Let's go all the way back to the 1990s. Let's go to 1994. 30 years ago, Clear and Present Danger opened up. So this weekend, Clear and Present Danger is 30 years old, along with The Little Rascals and Airheads. Airheads is a film that I personally do enjoy. I like it. It's not great, but I like it. It's one of Adam Sandler's less funny films. I like the cast. I just think it goes on a bit too long and it's not as funny as I want it to be. So we're going to move on to 40 years ago. In 1984, we had the original Red Dawn open, along with Revenge of the Nerds and Cloak and Dagger. Going all the way back to 1974, 50 years ago. For everybody who was alive back then, I was not. This was 1974. We had California Split. So there's everything 10, 20, 30, 40, even 50 years ago. If we have a movie that opened 50 years ago, I'll mention it. But every single week, we will have a release rewind. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Have you seen all of these films? What is your favorite of this bunch? And are you feeling old? That now Clear and Present Danger is 30 years old. Revenge of the Nerds and Red Dawn is 40, along with Cloak and Dagger at 40, and California Split at 50 years old. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and let me know if you like Release Rewind. I love doing it. It's fun to see what came out, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. We're going to move into the comments really, really quickly here. Staff says it's about £14 to go to the movies in the UK. So that's about $17.77. Wow. $17.77 in United States currency. In American currency. Wow. I like it when you talk about old movies. Awesome. Then I will keep doing it as long as people like it. We're going to look at this next, and that is going to be the box office results. The box office results. Here's what the box office looks like. And we've already looked at the top 3, but we're going to look at the top 10 and see how close Inside Out 2 is. How close Inside Out 2 is to... Oh, I lost it, didn't I? It's all right. I'll just have to bring it up. I'll just have to bring it up one more time. Sorry. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. We're going to go to thenumbers.com and we will look at the box office top 10 now. So, we already know that Deadpool Wolverine earned another $96 million, and that Twisters earned another 22.8. Trap earned 15.4. Pretty solid start for it. Despicable Me for 21% drop. 21%. Same with Inside Out 2. 21% drop. insane. Sadly for Harold and the Purple Crown, he couldn't draw up enough box office. Haha, funny. This is a box office bomb. This movie cost a ton of money, and it was on the calendar for at least a couple of years, and it never came out. It was never promoted. This movie did have promotion. The issue is a lot of people don't remember the book. I've talked to coworkers, and they don't remember the book. I have to show them the cover and go, hey, do you remember reading this to your kids, or do you remember this book as a kid? And they went, yeah, I do remember that. Long Legs earns another $4 million, and that's going to be about it for the box office because everything else is under $1 million. But Inside Out 2 is still making $6.8 million. Pretty solid, 1.55. 1.55. It's not going to reach The Lion King. It stops right there. It's not going to grow anymore. It is going to be there at the top as the 10th biggest movie of all time, which is a massive accomplishment. And Despicable Me 4 is at $754.6 million. So, I think that Despicable Me 4 is going to end with about maybe $820 million, maybe. It depends on how well it does overseas, but we will see. Next up, we are going to look at the Netflix Top 10. So the Netflix Top 10 looks something like this. We're going to look at the movies first, and then we'll look at the TV series because it has changed again. It's changed again. So it looks like this. In the Netflix Top 10, number 1 is a newer film, but it has not moved much. It was at number 2. Then it was at number 5, but it's back up at number 1, and that is Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. Number 2 is Saving Bikini Bottom, the Sandy Cheeks movie. No surprise there. It's a family film. It's SpongeBob. They're going to watch it. Trolls Band Together at number 3. Tarot at number 4. Jack Reacher, the original Jack Reacher. Well, the Tom Cruise first film in the Jack Reacher franchise at number 5. Number 6 is Red. Number 7 is The Cat in the Hat. Yep, great. I don't hate the movie, but it's not good. Super Mario Brothers. The Super Mario Brothers movie is still in the top 10, and it's at number 8. Minions is at number 9, and surprisingly, White Chicks. White Chicks is at number 10. I like that movie. I really do. I really, really do. Now we're going to go and look at the TV shows top 10 because some things have changed. Some things have changed. And those things are, once I bring it up here we go. Just had to find it. Just had to find it. Number 1 is Joe Rogan, Burn the Boats. That was a Netflix live stand-up. Number 2 is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, the brand new show based on the best-selling book. Number 3, Unsolved Mysteries. Number 4, Prison Break. And number 5, Simone Biles Rising. Number 6, Cobra Kai Season 6. Number 7, All-American. Number 8, Too Hot to Handle. Dirty Pop and the Boy Band Scam at number 9. And the new season of Unstable. So there's the Netflix Top 10. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What are you watching on Netflix? And are you excited for anything coming to Netflix? Because we do have a bunch of stuff. But did you notice that there's one thing that wasn't on there? And that is the Rebel Moon Director's Cuts. Because they're 3.5 freaking hours long. But the last thing that we're going to look at for this week is going to be what's releasing this week in theaters and on streaming. So we're going to go to we are going to go to releases.com and take a look at what's releasing this week in theaters and on streaming. So here we go. This week in theaters and on streaming, we have Borderlands, and it ends with us in theaters along with Cuckoo. I don't know if that's going to limited theaters or if it's an opening wider later or if it's opening wide because I haven't seen very much marketing on TV for it. I've seen a lot for it ends with us and not a lot for Borderlands, but more than I was. The Instigators is on Apple TV Plus, and I will have my review for that next week, along with my review for It Ends With Us. We also have a limited release with My Penguin Friend, which I've heard is pretty charming from the preview. We also have Lawrence of Arabia going to a re-release in theaters, celebrating an anniversary. Next week on Blu-ray and DVD, we have Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. We also have If. We will also have, there's one more. There's one more coming out next week, and I'm picking up. Oh, yeah, it is The Bike Riders. The Bike Riders is coming out. The Bike Riders will be coming out on Blu-ray and DVD next week. And next week on VOD will also be Mother's Instinct, which I will be renting that movie because I like the cast and I want to see what it's all about and how it is. Watchmen Chapter 1, I might do that one too. We'll see. I might have to wait till the following Friday. And Maxine comes out on August 12th. The Union comes to Netflix, which is a new film with Halle Berry and Mark Wahlberg, an action comedy, I believe. And then to end things off, we have Alien Romulus opening next week, and I'll be watching all the Alien movies in preparation for Alien Romulus and giving you my review of that. Hopefully, I'm hoping my theater gets it. They should, and for you people who live in the bigger cities, you will be getting a release of The Deliverance, which is a horror film based, which stars Glenn Close, and it's from Lee Daniels. So it's a horror thriller from Lee Daniels. I'm looking forward to seeing that. It comes out on Netflix on August 30th. So there's everything, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you're new. And before we end the show, I do have to go into the comments one more time. I wasn't around 50 years ago. I've been around 48 years ago just. Awesome. I used to work in a cinema in the late 90s. I got posters, film stills, and production notes. I got a large Italian Lost Boys poster from the 1980s. That's amazing, dude. That's awesome. That's awesome that you used to work in the theater in the 90s. There's some 90s posters I want, but you know what? They're expensive, especially for some first printings. Oof. And no reissues. Wow. I didn't like the new animation for the SpongeBob movie. Yeah, I didn't like it either, and neither did a lot of other people. But when they were in Bikini Bottom, it worked. When they were out of Bikini Bottom, yeah, it did not work. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you're new. And as always, I will see all of you guys for my next show, which I'm planning to be for Friday night, but it could be next Tuesday. I'm not sure. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And until next time, guys, I'll see you next time. So